Right now, you already have two sides in the AI space. The first one is the super hypey AI crowd, and they're really loud and they're telling you that AI is pretty much already replacing you and already capable of doing pretty much anything humans can. And then you have the other sides, which are more realistic, and they think that LLMs are just nowhere near AGI and replacing jobs. And they've been mostly treated as party poopers, but really in the past couple months, you've seen that they've gotten a lot more attention. And in this video, I want to show you that perspective on why GenAI might be slowly dying. Okay, and let's start by looking at this interview that I think was really the turning point in this new sentiment that we have in the AI space. And that's the interview of Richard Sutton, which is a very respected AI researcher and the author of the very popular The Bitter Lesson article. And that's an interview that he gave in a podcast. And here are essentially the points that he's making. He's saying that large language models, LLMs, are essentially just sophisticated mimicry, and they learn to predict human text, but not to understand or interact with the world.
Whereas large language models are about mimicking people, doing what people say you should do. They're not about figuring out what to do. But I would question the idea that they have a world model. So a world model would enable you to predict what would happen.
Right.
They have the ability to predict what a person would say. They don't have the ability to predict what will happen. What we want, I think, to quote Alan Turing, what we want is a machine that can learn from experience.
Right.
Where experience is the things that actually happen in your life. You do things, you see what happens, and that's what you learn from.
Yeah.
The large language models learn from something else. They learn from, here's a situation and here's what a person did. And implicitly, the suggestion is you should do what the person did.
Right.
And in that sense, it's not really intelligence the way that human would have it, and it's just a very advanced autofill. And he believes true intelligence requires a goal-driven agent that is learning by experience rather than just being trained on a huge text corpora. And his solution for this is a different kind of architecture for this intelligence, this AI, based on a continual learning on the job rather than this static pre-trained model.
So I don't think learning is really about training. I think learning is about learning. It's about an active process. The child tries things and sees what happens. We don't think about training when we think of an infant growing up. If you go to look about how psychologists think about learning, there's nothing like imitation. Maybe there are some extreme cases where humans might do that or appear to do that, but there's no basic animal learning process called imitation.
And then more recently, we had Andrej Karpathy, which is another very respected AI researcher. He worked at Google, Tesla, and he came onto the same podcast, essentially echoing what Richard Sutton was saying and discussing his reserve on LLMs. And he was definitely more blunt, saying, straight up that the current wave of AI agents is overhyped and it just doesn't work. He went on to say that most of the outputs that we get from the current LLMs and AI that we interact with is mostly slop, and we're probably 10 years away from anything looking remotely like AGI.
But I do think that overall the models are they're not there, and I kind of feel like the industry it's making too big of a jump, and it's trying to pretend like this is amazing, and it's not. It's slop. And I think they're not coming to terms with it, and maybe they're trying to fundraise or something like that. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're at this intermediate stage. The models are amazing. They still need a lot of work. For now, autocomplete is my sweet spot.
He went into details into the technical aspect of this, but essentially talk about insufficient intelligence, a lack of true multimodal capability, a lack of continual learning, and a weak reinforcement learning foundation.
Like it's still mostly like my Cloud Code or Codex. They still kind of feel like this elementary grade student. They have perfect memory of all this stuff, etc. And they can convincingly create all kinds of slop that looks really good. But I still think they don't really know what they're doing, and they don't really have the cognition across all these little checkboxes that we still have to collect.
Now, clips from these two interviews went viral and really fed this new sort of sentiment in the AI space. But if we're going to be honest, this is something that was called out by other people in the industry for a long time. Gary Marcus is one of those people that have been talking about this for a while, and he has written extensively in his publications and newsletter on the topic, and he has gathered a lot of research to prove it. So for example, he's pointed out that a lot of the vibe coding trend has taken a nosedive recently in the past few months, and the usage for those tools has gone down. But the same is even true with just the most popular LLMs like ChatGPT, and we've seen in the past couple months that usage has decreased by 36% as of September 2025. And even the AI adoptions of medium to large firms, as you can see on this graph, has started to sharply decline from this past summer up until now. Or this graph right here that shows that for the first time ever, the ChatGPT mobile app is seeing slowing download growth and daily use. And if you actually listen to those interviews and read what Gary Marcus is saying, it's not that those people don't believe in AI. It's just that they don't believe that GenAI, LLM, and the current way that we interact with AI is the way to AGI, because they have weaknesses that we just don't know how to address right now. And it's just not the way to get to the next level of intelligence and AI progression. Okay, so now as a business owner, where does that leave you? Like, what does that entail? It's usually not about asking, what can this new technology do for me? It's more about, what do I do right now that this new technology can make better, faster, and more efficient? And I just try to remember myself that these are just tools, and at the end of the day, it's not going to replace my business, it's not going to replace me. It's just going to be something that I can use in certain aspect. And the truth is that there are some actual ways that AI can help in your business right now. If you want to see some practical ways to do this, then go ahead and watch this next video right here. Or if you just want to keep updated with new AI automations and new implementations for your business, then go ahead and subscribe to my free newsletter. That's going to be in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.